Hello, Shalom, and welcome to Jerusalem. My name is Yossi Silverman. I'm both a state licensed tour guide and educator. Welcome to Jerusalem, my home, and also welcome to Pop-Up Tours. This is a series of documentary tours where we're going to be learning a little bit about Israel and the history and all that is very interesting in this wonderful country. What we're going to be focusing on here, because it's the first in the series of documentaries, is Jerusalem itself, an introduction. I'm here at the Haas Promenade and we're going to see all the different elements of Jerusalem. I have to say to you, welcome to the centre of the earth. No, this isn't a steampunk channel. We're not going to, like in the Jules Verne book, make a mechanism and plough through the earth to get to the earth's core. What we're sitting in for a lot of Western civilization is the centre of the world. For example, if we look on these ancient maps you're about to see, that Jerusalem is situated in the centre of it all. So the important question has to be, why do people place Jerusalem at the centre of the world? Well, also physically, if you look this map here, you're just about to see, you'll see Jerusalem is situated on a land bridge between three different regions, between Asia, between Africa and Europe. So it's seen most of human migration for many thousands of years, also birds, over 500 million varieties of birds which visit Israel every year. Maybe you'll make a YouTube video on that later on. Also, you can learn a lot about why Jerusalem is at the centre by looking at the different features of Jerusalem and why are they important, and the settlement in the area. So come, let's get familiarised with Jerusalem itself. Let me take you on the tour. Which we're looking at is a hill, and this is a hill where there is a story told about it. Abraham was commanded one day to take his son, his favourite son Isaac, and to sacrifice him on a hill. This hill here, to give God the best gift he could give, the gift of his son, and to slaughter his son, to carry out a human sacrifice. Then at the last minute, just as he was about to sacrifice his son, an angel called out, and instead, Abraham sacrificed a male sheep caught in the bushes on this mountain. And this was to be the place of sacrifice for the next thousands of years. This was the place, according to Jewish tradition, the place around the Golden Dome, where there was a temple known as the Temple of Solomon, or the First Temple. And this was the focal point of all Judaism. Stretching down from the hill, we have evidence, we have archaeological evidence of a 3,000-year-old, maybe even 5,000-year-old settlement called the City of David. This was biblical Jerusalem, one of the earliest settlements here. It was here that people dwelt until 586 BCE, when the Babylonians came and destroyed the temple on top. And then, 40 to some say 70 years later, the Jews returned. They built a new building on the site. If the first one was called the First Temple, then the second one would be called the Second Temple. This building itself was destroyed in the year 70. That's why we're not looking at it right now. We're looking at the platform on which it stood, where there's now a golden building. In the year 70, Titus Flavius, the emperor, came and destroyed the building. And it was left empty. Big argument what that happened then. And what we're looking at is a beautiful golden dome. In the year 691, the Muslims who were ruling at the time, they'd conquered the city in the 630s. In 691, the Muslims ruling the city placed a beautiful golden dome on top of the mountain there. Why is that? Well, according to the Quran, there's a story called Surah al-Isra. Look very carefully. In the south there is a copper dome. That copper dome is known as Al-Aqsa. That is a place mentioned in this part of the Quran, Surah al-Isra, where Muhammad was commanded to travel in a night, in what's known as the night journey. He travelled to Al-Aqsa, according to oral tradition, we're looking at it right now. He prayed and then he went underneath the golden dome. There's some stones, the golden dome wasn't there, he went to the stones and he rose up to heaven to receive the central principles of Islam. Also for Christians, this site is the site of the Second Temple, the temple featuring in many stories in Christian scripture. But also let's get to know the area a bit better by panning out, by looking what's around us here. So if we look at this tall tower in the distance here, this tall tower in the distance, this is the tower of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And we look here, we see another tower, that is the tower of the Church of Augusta Victoria, that is the wife of Kaiser Wilhelm II. And this tower here, and this tower is the tower of the Church of Ascension, where according to Christianity Jesus ascended to heaven 49 days, 7 weeks after he was crucified. The hill that it sits on is holy to these three religions too. For Jews and Christians, this is the site where on Judgment Day God will stand and the hill will split asunder. For Muslims, this is a place where the Mahdi, their messianic figure, will come to first before spreading out across the world to bring about a time of peace. Back to inside the city. By the way, when I say inside the city, we are standing right now in Jerusalem. What you're looking at is the old city, barely 1.5 square miles, as this map will show. We look inside the city, we will see, as well as the Golden Dome, got the White Dome, that's known as the Hurva Synagogue, around which is the Jewish Quarter, stretching north from the edge of the Jewish Quarter to the Temple Mount and beyond. It's all the Muslim Quarter, the biggest quarter in the city. Then you see this small, what looks here to be a small white spire. There's the spire of the Church of the Redeemer, next to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the place where, according to most Christians, Jesus was crucified. And the area around that is called the Christian Quarter. Then the area around, inside the walls from here, around these two buildings, which is the Dormition Abbey, where, according to many people, Mary was taken up to heaven, according to many Christians. This area is called the Armenian Quarter. Then back from the area of the Jewish Quarter, all of this is the new city of Jerusalem, and behind it, the old city, and beyond, that is East Jerusalem, including the old city too, and this would be West Jerusalem. Welcome to my home. We're about to head off on a journey together. You might be asking yourself, probably looks like I'm an Orthodox Jew, right? How come this place is holy to me and holy to two other major religions? Well, I do have an answer for that. It's not a contradiction. There's a prophet whose name was Isaiah, and he said, or Isaiah, we call him Yeshayahu, he said in Hebrew, Ki beiti beit tefillah yikareh lechol ha'amim, for my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations. And what we saw is a little part of the holiness of Jerusalem, a taste of the holiness of Jerusalem for all these different peoples from the past few thousand years. We're going to be learning a little bit about that and more in this new channel, Scout Israel. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, to hit like, unlike, hit subscribe. Also visit my website, scoutisrael.com. You'll also be able to see many wonderful podcasts and blog posts, and who knows, maybe even come on a tour with me. As we say in Hebrew, it means hello, it means goodbye, but it means peace. Shalom, and thank you for joining me.